Have you ever thought that some brilliant ideas have crossed thousands of years and continue to influence your life today? What connects, organizes, and transforms the modern world finds its roots in a distant past. But how do such ancient inventions remain so relevant today? You are about to discover 7 revolutionary Roman inventions that changed the world forever. Imagine living in a world where everything seems confusing and chaotic, disorder in the streets, a lack of organization, and solutions that simply didn't exist. This was the scenario before Rome. But the Romans, thanks to their ability to see far ahead, created solutions so advanced for their time that they endured through the centuries. Their innovations not only shaped history, but also transformed the lives of billions of people up to today. And the most fascinating part? These ideas are still around us. You're going to discover how Roman solutions continue to influence everything, from the roads we travel to the structures that connect us. By understanding these inventions, you'll realize they not only made history, but could also inspire new ways to improve your daily life starting now. Stay with me until the end and discover how the Roman legacy is more present in your world than you might imagine. Imagine a construction material so impressive that it has endured for thousands of years despite seawater, rain, and the weight of time. This is Roman concrete, known as opus cementitium, a true feat of ancient engineering. Created by the engineers of the Roman Empire, it marked a turning point in construction methods of the time. More than just a simple mixture of stones and mortar, this material was so durable and versatile that it enabled the creation of monumental structures that still stand today. The secret of Roman concrete lay in the special mix they used. While today we use Portland cement, the Romans had a solution far more advanced for their era, volcanic ash called pozzolana. This ash, extracted from regions near Mount Vesuvius, was combined with quicklime, stones, and sand. The result was an incredible concrete that not only hardened quickly, but also became stronger over time, especially when exposed to salt water. Yes, their concrete improved upon contact with seawater due to a chemical reaction, becoming even more resistant, something modern techniques still struggle to replicate. Take the Pantheon, for instance. This masterpiece built in Rome features a massive concrete dome over 43 meters in diameter. And do you know what's even more impressive? This dome has no iron reinforcement to support it. The Romans were so ingenious that they used a technique to lighten the concrete in the upper sections of the dome by mixing in pozzolana, a very lightweight volcanic rock. This trick reduced the weight while keeping the structure stable for nearly 2,000 years. Have you ever tried to understand what transformed Rome into the greatest empire in the world, but got lost in a flood of details? Don't worry, you're not alone. Imagine finally mastering the most decisive moments in Roman history, knowing the brilliant strategies of generals like Julius Caesar and Scipio Africanus, and understanding how their tactics shaped the destiny of the world. That's why I created the ebook The 10 Battles That Shaped the Roman Empire, where you'll gain access to a clear, objective analysis filled with exclusive curiosities. Discover how Rome won battles deemed impossible and become a true expert in Roman military history. Don't waste time. Visit the pinned comment and get your copy now. Take advantage before the stock runs out. Returning to the previous topic, another example is Roman aqueducts. These systems not only transported clean water to cities, but were also incredibly beautiful and well designed. Using concrete arches, they could cross entire valleys without compromising their structure. The Romans also used concrete to create naval infrastructure, capable of withstanding waves and salt. Some of these constructions are still standing, proving that their concrete was practically indestructible. You might be wondering, how was this possible? Well, in addition to its special composition, Roman concrete had a unique characteristic. It formed crystals over time, like a luminous tobermorite, which helped repair microcracks. Roman concrete literally repaired itself. This is one of the reasons why today's scientists are intensely studying this material. Imagine if we could reproduce something similar. Constructions could last much longer and be even more durable. Roman concrete was far more than just a building material. It was an innovative solution for an empire that needed solid, durable, and functional structures. This is why this concrete represents a legacy that goes far beyond the ruins we admire today. It symbolizes the creativity and expertise of a civilization that knew how to combine simplicity and efficiency like few others. When we look at modern works, many of them still draw inspiration from these ancient techniques. After all, what the Romans invented wasn't just concrete. It was a concept, building to last, and they truly got it right. Before we continue, I noticed you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. You definitely don't want to miss all the content about Rome we'll regularly share. Now think of a solution so ingenious that it completely transformed how people lived, ensuring health and well-being for thousands of individuals. Roman aqueducts were precisely that. More than just large stone structures, they were proof of how creativity and technology could transform lives. The Romans' revolutionary idea was understanding that clean water wasn't a luxury, but a necessity. To guarantee a constant supply to cities, they created these incredible systems that brought water from sources often located miles away. And don't think it was just small amounts of water. Aqueducts could supply public fountains, thermal baths, homes, and even palaces. It all started with the Aqua Appia in 312 BCE. This was Rome's first major aqueduct, and it was no joke. Instead of relying on local wells or streams, as was common at the time, the Aqua Appia transported water from far away, crossing mountains, valleys, and any other obstacles. And how did they achieve this? Simple yet brilliant. They used gravity. The aqueducts were designed with a gentle, constant slope, allowing water to flow naturally to its final destination. No pumps, no complex technology, just intelligent planning. To overcome the challenges of the terrain, the Romans built structures that remain iconic today. Stone arches. These arches weren't just beautiful, they were incredibly functional. They supported the weight of the water and allowed the aqueducts to cross rugged regions efficiently. And what a sight it must have been to see these monumental structures rise on the horizon. But it wasn't just about functionality. Aqueducts were also a way to demonstrate the power and organization of the Roman Empire. Every important city had its own network, and it wasn't just about meeting needs, it was also a source of pride for citizens. The public baths supplied by these systems weren't just places to wash. They were venues for meetings, conversations, and negotiations. They were integral to social life. The impact of aqueducts went far beyond infrastructure. Before them, contaminated water was a harsh reality for many, leading to outbreaks of severe diseases. With aqueducts, clean water became accessible to many people, drastically reducing these problems. Public fountains were scattered throughout cities, ensuring even the most disadvantaged had access to clean water. And do you know what's even more impressive? They thought about sustainability. The Romans had dedicated teams for maintaining these structures, which is why many aqueducts still exist today. One example is the Pont du Gard in France. This marvel still stands, impressing tourists and experts alike with its beauty and robustness. Roman aqueducts were a combination of practicality and innovation. They demonstrated that with planning and creativity, it's possible to solve big problems and improve people's lives. More than just water channels, they were a symbol of the Romans' commitment to collective well-being. Even after thousands of years, they continue to inspire engineers, architects, and anyone who believes in the power of engineering to transform the world. Tell me in the comments, what do you think is the greatest Roman invention? I'm eager to hear your thoughts. Roman roads were exactly that, built to last and transform how people lived and connected. They weren't just simple assemblies of stones, but a combination of intelligence and engineering that turned the Roman Empire into a place where everything seemed within reach. These roads were incredible, constructed with multiple layers of materials, large stones at the base, gravel and sand in the middle, and a final layer of smooth slabs. They were designed to withstand the weight of carts, troops, and the passage of time. Moreover, they included drainage systems to prevent flooding and degradation, something modern roads often don't do as well. The phrase, "all roads lead to Rome," is no coincidence. The city was the heart of an impressive road network, boasting over 400,000 kilometers of roads, 80,000 of which were paved. It was as if Rome was the center of a massive puzzle, connecting cities, villages, and provinces across the empire. This allowed soldiers, goods, and information to travel faster than ever before. But it wasn't just about logistics. The roads were a tool for cultural and economic integration. Products like olive oil, wine, and ceramics could be transported easily from one end of the empire to the other. Beyond that, these roads helped spread ideas, customs, and traditions. Every path was like a bridge, linking cultures and bringing people closer together. The Romans thought of everything when building roads. They didn't just think about the present. They wanted something that would last for generations. That's why they employed teams to perform regular maintenance, ensuring the roads remained in perfect working condition. And it worked. The Via Appia, for example, built in 312 BCE, is a perfect example. It still stands today, solid as a testament to Roman ingenuity. But the roads were not just a means of transport, they were a symbol of power. Wherever they were built, they showed Rome's presence and organization. It was a way of saying, you are part of something greater. This wasn't a minor detail. It was a clear message of unity and control, helping maintain the empire's stability. Today, it's hard to imagine modern highways without thinking of the Roman legacy. Many concepts we use for planning and building roads come directly from these ancient roots. They were the precursors to the logistical systems we know today, proving that some ideas are too good to abandon. Roman roads weren't just pathways, they were the backbone of an empire, connecting people, ideas, and cultures. More than an engineering feat, they demonstrated how planning and a long-term vision can transform history. And don't forget to get your ebook, The 10 Battles That Shaped the Roman Empire. It's crucial to grab it now before stocks run out. Now imagine the chaos of a world where the seasons didn't match the dates on the calendar. This was precisely what the Romans faced before the Julian calendar. The lunar system they used was a total disaster, completely unpredictable and full of random adjustments. That's when Julius Caesar decided to end the disorder and bring order to time. He called upon the best astronomers of his time and implemented a new system based on the solar cycle. The idea was simple yet ingenious. Divide the year into 365 days, with an additional day, the famous February 29th, added every 4 years. This adjustment ensured that dates remained aligned with the seasons, bringing stability to agriculture, religious rituals, and political organization. But how did it work in practice? Before the Julian calendar, confusion was widespread. Lunar years consisted of about 354 days, far less than the solar cycle of 365.25 days. To try to correct this, the Romans added extra months almost randomly, creating a real mess. This directly impacted people's lives, from the timing of planting crops to religious celebrations. Imagine trying to plan a harvest without knowing exactly when winter would begin. With the new system, everything changed. The Julian calendar brought predictability. Farmers could finally rely on the seasons to plant and harvest at the right time. Religious festivities, which depended on the phases of the year, were now celebrated at the correct periods. And of course, rulers could establish fixed dates for military campaigns. By aligning time with nature, Julius Caesar's calendar was a turning point. It provided the structure that society needed to function more efficiently, proving once again that Roman innovations were not just practical, but transformative. Political meetings, tax collection, and even military campaigns were all revolutionized by the Julian calendar. One of its most significant impacts was the standardization of time across the Roman Empire. Imagine how much easier commerce became. Products like olive oil, wine, and ceramics could be transported between regions with more precise planning. Merchants knew when to expect harvests and could better calculate transport times. But it didn't stop there. Communications became more efficient as well. Messengers and soldiers knew exactly how long it would take to reach their destinations, a crucial element for such a vast empire. However, like any major innovation, the Julian calendar wasn't perfect. It had a small calculation error. The solar year is 365.2422 days, not 365.25. This difference of about 11 minutes seemed insignificant initially, but accumulated over centuries. By 1582, Pope Gregory corrected this discrepancy, creating the Gregorian calendar we use today. Despite this reform, the foundation of our modern system remains the Julian calendar. Its legacy goes far beyond mere dates. It transformed how people perceived time. Before it, time was a fluid concept requiring constant adjustments. After it, time became structured and predictable. This didn't just bring order to daily life, it paved the way for advancements in fields like astronomy, administration, and social planning. Today, when we look at our calendars, whether on walls, in our pockets, or on screens, we see the evolution of an idea that began with Julius Caesar. He didn't just adjust dates, he adjusted the lives of millions. The Julian calendar was one of history's greatest innovations, proving that organizing time is reorganizing the world. Thanks to it, chaos gave way to predictability, and the unpredictable became reliable. Without the Julian calendar, the world would be very different. It laid the foundation for something we take for granted today, the ability to plan, measure, and synchronize our lives. All of this started with one man's decision to make time tangible and universal. Now, imagine a vast empire like Rome, filled with diverse peoples, cultures, and languages. How do you maintain order in such a place? The Romans achieved this through their legal system, a framework that wasn't just a set of laws, but a system designed to be clear, fair, and effective. The most remarkable part? Much of what they created is still in use today. The Romans understood that the law needed to be universal. They established rules governing almost every aspect of life, from trade agreements to protecting private property. One of their most revolutionary concepts was the principle that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, a cornerstone of modern justice systems. Imagine striking a deal with someone while fearing deceit. The Romans solved this by creating a contractual system. If both parties agreed, the contract held the force of law. This provided security for transactions and allowed the economy to thrive. Private property was also taken very seriously. The Romans established rules to protect individuals' possessions, ensuring conflicts were resolved fairly. But Roman law went beyond organizing daily life. It served as a tool to unify the empire. Despite its many cultures, Rome created a legal system that worked everywhere. This meant that, in a way, all citizens were bound by the same laws, bringing stability and cohesion to the empire. One of Roman law's greatest legacies is the Corpus Juris Civilis, an immense compilation of laws organized by Emperor Justinian in the 6th century. This document wasn't just important in its time, it became the foundation of legal codes in many nations over the centuries. For example, the Napoleonic Code, which influenced so many other legal systems, drew heavily from the Corpus Juris Civilis. Why is Roman law still so relevant today? Because it changed how we understand justice. Before it, laws were often seen as privileges for the few. The Romans changed this by making laws accessible, understandable, and applicable to everyone. They believed justice should be based on reason and fairness, not favoritism. Another aspect of Roman law's brilliance was its adaptability. As the empire grew and new challenges arose, the legal system evolved, incorporating local customs and needs. This flexibility allowed the empire to govern such a diverse population effectively. Roman law wasn't static. It was dynamic, responding to the needs of its people while maintaining its core principles. This legacy of fairness, adaptability, and universality is why Roman law continues to inspire modern legal systems. It wasn't just a set of rules, it was a vision for a society where justice is accessible and equitable for all, a vision that remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. A remarkable aspect of Roman law was its simplicity. The Romans knew how to draft clear and objective laws, capable of resolving issues without unnecessary complexity. This ability to simplify while maintaining efficiency continues to inspire jurists worldwide. Many of their ideas are so robust that they have endured for centuries. Today, Roman law is studied in law schools, not just as history, but as a model for societal organization. Concepts we use daily, such as contracts, property rights, and even the notion of citizenship, were shaped by this system. Another fascinating element was the organization of courts. Inspired by Roman law, the judicial system featured specialized judges who handled different types of cases. For instance, some judges focused on disputes between merchants, while others dealt with criminal matters. This division ensured that each case received the necessary attention and expertise. Without Roman law, the world would be vastly different. It wasn't merely a set of rules. It was a way of transforming an empire into a place where people could live with greater security and predictability. Even after centuries, its impact remains immense. When we think of modern justice, we are essentially thinking of Rome. Roman law proves that with organization and clarity, it's possible to create something that transcends generations and remains relevant today. It not only shaped the ancient world, but also laid the foundations for legal systems that continue to uphold order and justice in modern times. Every time a judge makes a fair decision, a contract protects two parties, or the presumption of innocence is respected, we see Roman law in action. It's not just history, it's a living legacy that continues to influence the world we live in. Now, imagine an army so well trained and organized that it resembled a perfect machine. This was the Roman army, a force that didn't just conquer territories, but also laid the groundwork for an empire that would last for centuries. Their military structure was a turning point in history, revolutionizing how wars were planned and won. Roman soldiers weren't just warriors, they were masters of discipline and efficiency. Their training was rigorous, almost relentless. They learned to march in perfect synchronization, set up camps in mere hours, and employ strategies that disoriented and outmaneuvered their enemies. The result, an army that was not only feared, but also respected. This discipline enabled troops to respond quickly to orders, even in critical situations. Consider the logistics involved. The Romans never entered battle without a detailed plan for supplying their troops. Food, weapons, tools, everything was calculated and transported for campaigns. They had organized an efficient supply routes, ensuring that every soldier remained equipped, even in hostile territory or during prolonged wars. It was as if the entire army functioned like a perfectly oiled machine. In military engineering, they were unmatched. Need to cross a river? They could build a bridge in record time, often using materials found on site. Besieging a city? They designed siege weapons so effective that no wall was safe. Weapons like ballistae, catapults, and siege towers demonstrated that they relied not just on brute force, but also on intelligence and innovation. This combination of strength and creativity gave the Romans an advantage few adversaries could overcome. But the Roman army wasn't just a war machine, it was also a tool for expansion and integration. When they conquered a territory, it wasn't merely to dominate it. They built roads, fortifications, and introduced Roman systems into these regions. This helped integrate the territories into the empire, ensuring Rome's presence would be felt for generations. Every conquest was accompanied by infrastructure, guaranteeing long-term control. Another fascinating aspect was the army's clear and efficient hierarchy. The chain of command was well defined, with every officer knowing their exact responsibilities. This maintained order and avoided confusion during critical moments. Additionally, soldiers had extra motivation. They could earn land or citizenship at the end of their service. This ensured their loyalty and commitment. Now, imagine an army like this, one that didn't just conquer, but also unified, integrated, and built the foundation for an enduring empire. It wasn't just about winning battles, it was about creating a legacy. The Roman army's combination of discipline, innovation, and vision made it one of the most formidable forces in history. Even today, its influence can be seen in modern military organization and strategy. The Roman military wasn't just a force, it was a blueprint for how discipline, strategy, and long-term planning can shape the destiny of a civilization. It's a testament to the power of preparation and foresight in achieving greatness, a place where you could relax, take care of yourself, meet friends, network, and even conduct business. This was the Roman public baths. They weren't just spaces for hygiene, but true social centers, showcasing how advanced the Romans were for their time. The Romans understood that caring for both the body and mind was essential for a balanced life. That's why they built public baths in almost every major city of the empire, creating spaces accessible to all. Whether rich or poor, everyone could enjoy these incredible facilities. It was a place where social differences were left at the door, allowing people to connect and focus on self-care. What made these baths so special was the technology involved. They used a system called hypocaust to heat the floors and walls, ensuring warm water and comfortable environments even on the coldest days. The baths were divided into three main zones: the caldarium, hot pool, the tepidarium, warm pool, and the frigidarium, cold pool. Transitioning between these temperatures wasn't just relaxing but also invigorating, helping the body recover and the mind unwind. However, public baths weren't just about water and steam. They included spaces for exercise, gardens for walking, libraries for reading, and even meeting rooms where people discussed ideas and conducted business. The environment was so comprehensive that many Romans spent hours there, enjoying the best life had to offer. Imagine this. While today we visit gyms, spas, or clubs separately, the Romans had already integrated all these functions into a single place. The baths of Caracalla, for example, were spectacular. Built in the 3rd century, they could accommodate thousands of people simultaneously. Adorned with mosaics, sculptures, and fountains of incredible beauty, they were architectural marvels. And it wasn't just in Rome. Similar public baths were constructed throughout the empire, demonstrating that this culture of wellness was widespread. Now, let's discuss something important. Public baths were also a public health strategy. By promoting personal hygiene and providing access to clean water, they helped prevent diseases and improve the population's quality of life. Moreover, they fostered a sense of community. These were places where people could meet, exchange ideas, and form relationships that went beyond mere bathing. Public baths also symbolized the power and organization of the Roman Empire. Building such structures required significant resources, both in materials and labor. Yet the Romans viewed this as an investment in quality of life and social harmony. Many emperors used these spaces to gain the favor of the population, proving that collective well-being was also an effective political strategy. Another fascinating aspect was the cultural inclusion these baths encouraged. People from different backgrounds and social classes gathered in these spaces, breaking down barriers and fostering harmonious coexistence. This contributed to strengthening a Roman identity within a diverse empire by uniting people through shared experiences. Even more interesting is how this idea influenced later cultures. From medieval baths to modern spas, we see the Roman imprint on our concept of collective well-being. They created a model that promoted not only health, but also social integration and leisure. The idea that individual well-being is connected to the collective still resonates strongly today. Ultimately, public baths were much more than places to wash. They demonstrated that the Romans valued the human experience by combining comfort, technology, and social interaction. Today, when we look for spaces to relax and reconnect, we are continuing what they started thousands of years ago. Now that you've explored the 7 greatest Roman inventions, from military organization to public baths, it's clear that these ideas continue to shape the world we live in. All around us, we find traces of Rome. The roads we travel, the laws we follow, and even the ways we care for ourselves. Roman history isn't just a story of the past. It's a reminder of how innovation and organization can transform civilizations and leave legacies that endure for centuries. Think about it. How many of these Roman ideas do you use daily without even realizing it? When you travel on a well-planned road, organize your schedule with a calendar, or understand your rights in a contract, you are directly living under the influence of Rome. These advancements were as brilliant as they were timeless, continuing to inspire modern solutions. What's most impressive, however, is how the Romans consistently sought innovation to improve people's lives. They understood that every invention should serve the collective, promoting comfort, efficiency, and quality of life. This mindset is a lesson we can all learn and apply to our own lives. After all, who says we can't use these lessons to transform our world today? And that's not all. Rome also showed us that great ideas don't need to be complex to be effective. A straight road, a well-designed aqueduct, or even a relaxing bath can make all the difference when created with a clear purpose and long-term vision. Perhaps Rome's greatest lesson is precisely this. The combination of simplicity and brilliance can produce incredible results. So what will you do with this knowledge now? Maybe it's time to look around you with fresh eyes and realize just how much the past is still present. Rome never truly disappeared. It lives in our cities, our laws, and even our moments of relaxation. Recognizing this is a way to value not only history, but also the opportunities we have to continue creating. And remember, every time you want to learn how Rome became the greatest empire of antiquity, head to the pinned comment and get your copy of the ebook 10 Battles That Shaped the Roman Empire. Don't wait. Grab it today as stocks are limited. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep exploring how the past shapes the present, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support our work. It makes all the difference. Thank you for being here, and see you soon, because the history of Rome may be ancient, but its lessons are eternal.